Okay. All right. Welcome everyone to New York City DOE Pear Deck Basics 101. I'm Jim Hamble, and joined with me tonight is the wonderful.
My name's Kathy Bronstein.
Kathy, I'm excited to be doing this with you tonight. I know this kind of came together very quickly, but
Yeah.
that's one of the silver linings of this pandemic is that it's been great to be able to kind of collaborate and work with other teachers that I may not usually get the chance to do with. So I'm excited that this was actually your idea, and I'm excited just to be doing this tonight.
Yeah, no, and I just figured, it's what I'm noticing a lot is that we're all inundated. It's okay, everybody, the job you did for I don't know how many years, we turned it on its head, make it work. And it's like I said, I felt like from March to June last year, I was in the longest PD ever. It just never ended. And if we could help you guys with this tool that really is phenomenal. I teach 8th grade ELA ICT, and we have ENLs in the ICT class. And it makes differentiation easier. It makes engagement easier, whether it's synchronous or asynchronous learning. I did not know asynchronous was actually a word until about, I don't know, since March till March, but okay. And we just want to show you how it works.
Awesome. Just a couple things I was saying. So if you want to ask questions or anything, just use the chat box. We'll try to do it periodically, although I'm sharing my screen, so sometimes it's not. If you've done that with Zoom, I know a lot of us in the city especially use Google Meet, but with Zoom it's kind of hard. Please use asset-based language. So we know what's going on, all the challenges. I know you're all here to learn, but please just want to make sure that the purpose of that is to problem solve together. I know a lot of people I'm talking to, they say, oh, I know a little bit of Pear Deck. I've heard of it. I have no idea what it is. And that's fine. So that's the purpose of this, is to kind of come, whatever level you are of it. Of course, as teachers, we know we meet learners on whatever stage they're at. We are not from Pear Deck. We just happen to be very familiar with it. Of course, we're still learning new things as well.
Yes.
So let's just remember that. And it's wonderful that you're here with us tonight. And already in the chat, people want it, and I will certainly be able to. I'll certainly make sure that you get that at the end. So, we're your hosts for tonight, Catherine. Why don't you just tell us about you?
Okay. I am an 8th grade ELA teacher. I teach predominantly ICT. Am I still on? Because the screen is blank.
No, you're on.
Okay. And one problem we had during remote learning last from March to June was that the populations that we have are vulnerable and they have unique learning needs. And it became very difficult to keep them engaged, and especially when we could not have them live with us, or even when we had them live with us. There's a meme floating around right now that the Google Classroom with the older kids, it's like anybody say hello at all. I think the most engagement I had before Pear Deck was when my cat sat on my lap and literally faced into the camera, and my kids were all over it. But besides that, it was very hard, and we're all facing this challenge. So Pear Deck really, in a very easy, user-friendly way, helped correct that.
Oh, well said. I mean, and I think you said we were talking before, you've been using it longer than me. I honestly just kind of started using it last March because for phys ed, it's like, what am I going to do? I don't want to just post videos and say and I had a lot of times where I would post like these amazing, beautiful lessons, and then with Google Documents, and then get and I'm sure we've all gotten that, where you get the dreaded nothing submitted. So
Yeah, they sent it back.
yeah, I mean,
Didn't write anything, nothing.
Yeah, and it was just so I enjoyed it because we're going to show you like a whole bunch of features that are involved. That I'm in District 9 by the Bronx. So if you're a Yankee fan, I'm literally right near there. But honestly, what really was great about Pear Deck is it was just like so simple. Like if you know Google Slides, and if I asked everyone to know the Google Slides, everyone could raise their hand. It's just, I felt like it was very easy. I literally was able to teach it to myself in 2 days. So, and then what was great about for me is phys ed is like, in a couple months after the fact, when my principal said we need something for the whole staff, and I said Pear Deck, so then everybody started using it. So it's the kind of thing that once it's very used, it's also very fun. Like the students do it. So I don't want to stop hyping on it. Let's get this party started. So if you're familiar with Google Slides, this is kind of like, this is how
Jim, I don't see anything in front of me right
you
now.
don't see any, does anybody see it? You sharing my screen? Hold on, let me do it again. Let me try it again. I got all excited and then it didn't work. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
And what I really like about this
Perfect.
program is that it's simple. Okay, I did a PD at my school, and we have some of those that, they're still hitting reply all to emails, and they were able to use it, which was fantastic.
So, Kathy, how do we start it off? Like, what do we do first? Like,
all right, why don't, first of all, let's show you how to install it.
so yeah, so you go to, so working together, you go to add-ons. Once you go Google Slides, which most of us in the city, if you have it, you just go to Google Slides, you go to add-ons, right where it says get add-ons. And believe me, there's a lot of cool things with Googles. So you add it on, it takes a little, it's already installed, but you would click on it, you would install it. You have to be using Chrome. That's the biggest thing, you have to use Chrome.
Yeah.
So you install it. Once it's installed, boom. Then on the top bar, you see where it says Pear Deck over here? That will be your magic go-to button, because whenever you want to make a Pear Deck, right now it's just Google Slides. If you share it, it's going to be a Google Slide. What makes it a Pear Deck is this. All I got to do is click on this little pear guy. It says working. It does take a second, and then you're in business. If you see this toolbar on the side, it pops up.
Toolbar didn't pop up.
It didn't?
Nope.
What do you say? To really keep sharing my screen every 25 times. Can you see it now?
Yeah, there it is.
You know what? I've actually done this before with used Pear Deck with students, and it didn't work. And once you built the report, they were literally patient enough. Third and fourth graders, mind you, they were patient enough. So can you see where it says I'm hovering over start lesson? Perfect. So right now, this is just a regular slide. And if you want to make it a Pear Deck, basically a Pear Deck is not like a program. It's an add-on. It makes it interactive. Say I want you, okay, cool. I want you to answer a question. I want to ask you a question about something about that. Can you see me, these little things where it says ask students a question? If you click on one of them, it says working, then it will add it on, and now it's a Pear Deck slide. So you can't see it right now, but when the students get it, or when you show her to do a presentation, the students will be able to see, and it will make it interactive.
Right, and you have a choice of questions, okay? The text question is more for when you want them to write sentences, okay? When you want them to give you a fuller answer. The choice, it allows you to turn your question into a multiple choice question. And we use that a lot for differentiation. Some of our higher flyers, we would take the same question, have them answer it as a text question. No, Mandy, the kids don't have to add it on. We're going to show you how to start a lesson. And they're going to be looking at and responding to your slideshow. Okay? The multiple choice, you can edit your answers to it and have the kids respond to the multiple choice format. You can embed a website. Now, the only thing that I found, Jim, I don't know if you have found the same thing, but YouTube does not embed.
I found that, and I have an advanced thing. I know Victoria Rowe is here, but there's a website called Bunsy that a lot of these things, like super advanced. I know we're getting ahead, but yeah, sometimes I run into a problem with Google Slides and GIFs, and also doing doing videos and everything, if you do that function, but like you add something called Buncey, which is really good for embedding videos, that will be a good way to do it. But like I said, that's super duper advanced. But it's cool because with the website feature, you can kind of do it toggle side by side.
Right.
Talk
And
about
you
the
won't
drawing.
have the thing where you put a website in, the kids click it, then they go out of the meeting, and then it becomes a whole.
Mhm. This is what it looks like when you want to do the website feature. Did you talk about the drawing one? That's like one of my favorite.
No, the drawing one, the kids have a lot of fun with this. Basically, you allow the students to draw their response. That's great for the little ones. And it's also good for the ENLs. And it's, my kids had a ball with it. I used one of the, they had like multiple smiley faces. When we go over the pre-made slides, you'll see it. And I had one kid turn them into, it looked like the Village People. One was a cop, one was a fireman. And it's also good for the ENLs if they don't have the language to explain a concept, but they can draw it, and they do draw it. It really comes, it's a lot of fun. The Draggable is good for, has a lot of applications for it. Christy, is that a kitty? Aw, okay. I'm sorry. I break for kittens. Oh, it's a dog. Oh, okay. Oops. The Draggable, it's great for sequencing activities, for history class, if you want the children to identify things on a map. There's a lot of things you can do the Draggable for. You could also, a very simple opinion, agree or disagree type of thing. And they're really easy to embed. All you do is you write your question, or you could put your map on the slide, and then you choose, just click on it, and Pear Deck does most of the work for you. It embeds it in, and for the kids to view it, that's when you hit start lesson.
Right. So I'm glad you mentioned that because now let's first start. So you click so what I love about, what's so great about Pear Deck is that once you click start lesson, you will get two choices. Say you want to just leave it, you want to do it asynchronously, and you want to just leave it for them to do. So you click student-paced activity, they can do it at their own pace. The great thing about it is you could toggle back and forth. So if you pick one and you want to change it, not a problem. So for today, we're going to be doing instructor-paced activity, which means I can control it and I can control the pace of the lesson, which makes it also good. So when you want to be able to share it with the students for them to do it at the assignment at the same time, and you want to be able to, have something to refer to as you're teaching remotely, like you would do now. So basically, you would have your Pear Deck with you. You'd be sharing your screen, and your students would be working. You'd be able to talk to them at the same time. You click instructor-based activity. Now, to save on loading time, I take the same thing. What happens is it loads, and you get this screen. Can you see the screen where it says purple drums instantly? So this is pretty cool. They can go to the joinpd.com, or you could just click this little box and it gets right to Google Classroom, or you could give students a link. I see some chat questions in the chat. Perfect. How can I get my Pear Deck and my DOE laptop? And honestly, Laura, I don't have a DOE. I use my personal laptop too.
I know with mine, I use my DOE laptop and it does work. I think it depends on what kind of, is invite class sent to Google Classroom.
Perfect. So yeah, so Bridget, yes, the invite class is when you click the screen button down over here, you do it. Yeah, you just ask your admin to do it. A couple other features, which is great. So this is the join code, which I'm going to give everyone, so we can actually do it together. This is the teacher. This is great. So if you know already, and you're able to see things, students progress as they go along. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the chat. So this way you'll be able to see a function of it, and you'll be able to see, you could actually do it too, because if you go to this one, I'm going to go to the screen and it's going to have a multiple choice. So what I'm going to do is right here is I'm going to do that. No, that's the wrong button. See? Okay. So I want everyone to click on that. All you need to, and all the students have to do is you just sign in with your email. This works great because it works on all kinds of platforms and things. So go on there. And so right now, as you can see, I can see 4 students connected. I can see 5 students connected. And over here, that's what it looks like for students. So as I can see over here, all my students are on, and I can see, go to this slide. So Catherine, could you kind of explain more about what the question is about?
Okay, I kind of, some of these questions basically were made for fun when I was doing the PD for my coworkers. And the first one, this is an example of a multiple choice slide. Okay, and I think, how do we all feel about, how did we all feel about remote learning? And the choices were love it, hate it, and the screen over there on the side, that's what your kids see. Love it, hate it. I forget what snarky thing I put for the third choice. All right, but you can put in your response. If you've joined a session, click in your response, and then you'll see, you're seeing what the students see. If you clicked on the link, you can also see in the screen that Jim is sharing what the teacher will see.
And this is what you see always on the first screen. This is what the students see. Catherine, could you explain how the immersive reader, that's a great feature. Could you explain that about the audio feature?
All right, there is an immersive reader. It's an audio feature. Some kids need the questions read to them, or it's a mandate on their IEP. You can hit the immersive reader. Can you bring up? Yes. And it'll read it to them. Also, if you have ENLs, it does have the ability to translate for your ENL students who need it. So I can go on that and I can translate it into different languages. Last year in one of my classes, we had a very heavy Chinese Mandarin speaking. It was a combination ICT ESL group. And what I would do is I would go into, can you envision this being used for kindergarten babies in any way? Yes, I can. They actually have pre-made templates for the little ones, and the draw and the drag feature. Those types of questions are pretty much perfect for the little guys. They also have pre-made templates that you can use for the smaller children. So what we would do with the ENL, what we would do is go into Immersive Reader, choose the Chinese, and they would be able to have it translated if they needed it.
And I'll show you how to do that. You know, I'm going to go to Greek just because I'm over here.
Oh, Mandy, you should be happy.
You click on the document. Oh, look at that. And I can toggle back and forth between original and Greek.
Πώς νιώθουμε όλοι για τη μεικτή μάθηση.
Mandy, was it good?
Awesome.
All right, we have a genuine Greek approving of the Greek translation. There we go. Thank you, Mandy.
So you know what? You know, we're good. We're good to go. So, oh yeah. So we'll go back more. We'll show more. We get so excited. We can show more of the pre-made templates. But actually, you know what? That'll be good. We could go into that.
Okay.
So
Somebody asked a question about the free version versus the pay-for version. The free version, you can do the multiple choice, the text, the website, the number questions. We're all very hopeful, I see. And also you can use the pre-made templates. Now, here's a little hack. With the pre-made templates, you have access to the drawing slides, the dragging slides. You can edit them and put them into your presentation. And even if you don't have the pay-for version, you can use them. Did I make sense? Okay. The other thing you can do is add your own audio to the slides too. Repeat, please. Okay. The free version is you have access to the multiple choice questions. You can make your own multiple choice, text, website, and you can add audio to the slides and the number. The premium version, it's the draw and the draggable. But a little hack is if you go into the pre-made, Jim, can we show them the pre-mades?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you go over here where it says template library,
you have access to draggable slides and drawing slides. So if you could figure out a way to tweak that, you can use them even if you have the free version, and even if they're draggable or drawing slides.
yeah, and these are pre-made. So once you click on this, you click it and it goes right into it. They are editable. Once you click it and then you do it, then it's editable. And I know we were talking about ones for littles. It does take a few, there you go, that's how it is. And it's good for social SEL, which I know is a big thing. There's critical thinking, social emotional. There's even one over here for littles. And I've actually worked with my pre-Ks and my teachers at my school to actually use it for, what's great about this function is, say you make like the best, the most amazing lesson, and you want to share it with people at your school. You click on these little three over here, and it says publish and share your lesson. It will take you to the steps where you can publish and share it, not as a lesson with students, but as if you wanted to say, I wanted to send this one in full Pear Deckness.
Hamburger menu.
I just made that word up. And you can send it to everyone, and it's good just like that. Yeah, students, the thing about it is the students, whatever features and premium, whatever free you have, the students will be what the students get. They don't have to worry about it. They don't have to pay for anything. So if you have the drawing one and you send it to the students, that's what they will have. I hope that answered, Bridget.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, the pay-for version is, I think it's like $12 a month for teachers. And is this an app or an extension? I think I know that they have the Chrome extension store and the app. I think this is considered an app because you get it through the add-ons. Thank you, Laura. I think basically once we started remote learning, I figured, yeah, I agree, Leah. I agree completely. What did you open to get to the tab we're on right now?
So right now I'm in the, I have like 37 with the, so right now I have, this is what the students would see, because you could click it. This is the teacher mode. This is the teacher version. Because you will know down over here, because it says presenting, I could hide responses. This is what you as the teacher would see. I know that, oh, I got 12 out of 16 responses. If I'm teaching this as right now, I could do show responses, and this is what all the students did.
Right. Basically, when the students click that link, what they see is the question with the bar on the side. When you are on teacher mode, will you still be able to see the students?
No, I could see that this is the answers that you did. What you would need is also another premium features. Wow, and I lost it. Sorry about that.
Okay, you should, there's a thing on the bottom for the teacher dashboard. To be honest, for those of you using Google Classroom and Chrome, there's an extension called Dualis. If you put in the extension, if you go into the Chrome, the extension store, the little puzzle piece, and you hit that and you put in split screen, there's two extensions that allow you to split the screen, and they're very easy to use.
So this is the, can you all see where it says different, looks like gobbledygook? This
Dual
is
less, I think, Leah, dual less.
Dualis. So this is what the teacher dashboard looks like. Usually it opens in a new window, but I put it just so you can kind of see it. So this is what's also great. I know, so if for example, I see Catherine is now going to, so let's go to the next slide. I'm gonna open it up. So remember, I have, since it's on student, I have to make sure that I go to the next slide. So if everyone goes to the next slide, answer the tickets, take a minute, answer this question. I could literally see Lauren Elizabeth typing right.
And that bubble on the side underneath, my favorite thing was PJs. Okay. Someone said as a joke, the back to school section should have been pajamas and wine.
So I can see, Jim H, you didn't respond. A lot of times I do that where I'll just literally sign in myself. But,
right, and if you want to comment on what the student's writing as they're writing it, you know, the formative assessments, good luck doing that 6 feet away with masks on, you can hit the bubble and you can respond to the students. I don't see where to type in.
so I could say for Lori, I just happened to pick this one just because I was there. I can leave, so Lori will get should get an alert on her page. That means I gave her feedback.
All right, can you show the student slide where to type in?
Sure. So this is what as a student you should have. This is what you should be seeing. One thing about it also builds accountability with students, because a lot of times they will come to me and say, Mr. Hamble, something's not working. And I say, oh, okay, cool, thank you. So it's nice because they really do like the Pear Deck. It's fun. They once they get a hang of it, they do it. So like
Elizabeth, were you able to answer the multiple choice question?
No.
No 2-hour away commute, yeah.
So this is literally if I wanted to open it up, so say, okay, cool, you know what? I want to let people, you know what? I think everyone give me a thumbs up if you're getting this. I want to open it up and go turn on student paste. You get this little thing. So now you can even still send it. Because say you don't, I know there's going to be kids that there probably will be.
Oh, sorry. No, the two Elizabeths, I messed that one up.
You could do it. One other thing so if I'm going to go back over there, say for example, I'm like, okay, everybody's having a tough time. So I go over here. You could go back to the templates that you had before. You could you could add this in like right on the fly. So if I say, oh, cool, pause what you've learned in class.
Elizabeth, did you click the link when Jim dropped it in the chat?
Let me put it back in the chat and see if that will help. Because that could be it. And you know what? Let me go back to my. I got Zoom windows on top of Windows. Thank you everyone for being patient with me as I try to.
Oh, now she has it! Yay!
Perfect. I was just about to check it out. Cool. I could see 11 out of 17 or something. Let's go to the next one. So how you feeling about this? I love honestly one of my favorites is the drawing slide. So try this. So do this one. Engaging students.
Elizabeth will answer the questions. All right.
Okay, so Elizabeth, so say, for example, I'll give you an example. Say, you know what, everyone, you taught, you have the slide, you taught something, you want to do an exit slip, so you go, you see where it says new prompt? It says, you click on new prompt. These are the same slides that you could have put in before you made it a Pear Deck presentation. But if you click it, so say now I want to ask everyone to do this. Do you feel comfortable sharing your thoughts out loud or end of class? And if you click it, it will get inserted right away. So I'm adding an extra question on the fly. Is it DOE, school Google, or school Google?
I think you can use it for both.
Yeah. The one thing about Pear Deck is it might seem overwhelming at first, but honestly, like, if once you feel like it, so yeah, so now once you hit it, it's, think of it, if you think of it as Google Slides with interactive assessment capabilities, I think that's the best thing. And
Yeah.
I noticed, the great thing about it is, so say I noticed, oh, junk, I spelt my name wrong, you know, for example, you just go back and you just start over.
All right, Ellen, the way you set up the slides is the same way you do a normal Google slide presentation.
Mhm.
You just open up the Pear Deck add-on, and then you add on, like, let's say you have a question. I know I had a lot of PowerPoint presentations from last year, and I put them into Google Slides, open them, and then I can just add on Pear Deck. Think of this like sprinkles to put on top of a Google slide.
I like sprinkles.
You like sprinkles? I like sprinkles too. Does that help? Okay, cool.
So if you go on, so the, you know, if you go on, if you literally Google third grade ELA Google slide lessons or even PowerPoint, you can take it and you can do it. There's a lot of, on the DOE, if you go through Clever and TeachHub, there's a lot of things that have Google Slides, Google Slide presentations. You can literally download that, make a copy, and make it a Pear Deck. It's that easy. Once, all you need to do is, well, you have to have the Pear Deck add-on installed. You just need it. If, of course, I'm skipping a step because it's kind of, it will ask you to make an account. It will ask you to coordinate your account. Mine already does that. So when you click Start Lesson, it will ask you one of those, what account you want to use. But once it's signed in, once it's synced up, everything's perfect.
Also, just another, yes, I have a dog. Just, Amy, shush. She's defending us from the fierce soda can lady right now, okay? Basically, what you can do is when you first sign on, I think they give you like 60 days free of the premium account.
Mm-hmm.
If you drag your heels in getting the premium account, they give you another 20 days.
Mm-hmm.
So you can decide how much in love you are with the premium features. I happen to go for the premium account because I figured $12 a month compared to all the wine I would have to buy to get through remote learning without it was a bargain.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me.
So let's, you know what, I'm going to open it up. So let's go on to the next slide. Drag the numbers to put these in chronological order. So if you see on the bottom, it has all the numbers, it has numbers, you can literally, and you drag. Actually, that would be number 5 because that's the last one that just happened.
I'm about to say, you get this one wrong. Come on now.
I'm not going to. Where did my thing go? Oh, I'm still in the student. The number one thing is if the students are like, I can't move on, I'm stuck, it's probably because you're in presenter mode and you have to literally go to the next slide. And it's cool with everything. You can even lock the screens if you want to do it. So this is what I actually did a bunch I like Pear Deck and companies that because I literally went to them and said, you need some phys ed slides. And they were gracious enough to let me make some of them. So they actually just recently came out. So you might have seen me talking about that quite a bit. But I love it because, like I said, all right, my students do this. And then you went up 5. You guys are good. We should have this class more often. You're welcome, Bridget. These are good. So like I said, these are free. Here's another one. And this, I tried to make these as good for like everyone. So like, Catherine, I know you're not teaching phys ed or exercise per se, but boom, you drop this in there. And what's your favorite physical activity or exercise? And you can kind of do a movement break.
But I think considering we're all caught up in the socio-emotional of it all, exercise and physical activity is a good stress relief. So it would be like, hey, how do you relieve stress? What's your favorite physical activity? Fortnite is not a physical activity, something like that.
Oh, here it is. Close window. Dude. Where are my answers at?
No, Laura, the answers, you're going to see them in real time as they're typing them.
Thank you.
You will see them as they're typing them. So if you see them doing something like going off in teacher mode, you can comment and say, I think you need to look at it again, or look at line 5, or something like that, that you can do that formative assessment that social distancing and everything else, or not having them in front of us.
And you believe, so I think Lauren is doing that just to show us, of course, to show us what you would say to a student, but then you could do that.
I think that beat the village people I got.
One of my favorites is we were doing yoga, and so one of the kids wrote "download dog." And that's what I thought about. So what's great about it is if you're like, you know what, I love this slide. It's perfect. If you're like, I want to change it. I love one of these. This is good for me because I'm all about extending thinking. My thinking is, especially in the phys ed world, if you're teaching students how to choose a just right book, if it's hard, not like what's all about challenges. So no responses. So this is one. So this is a slide they could do. And like I said, I think most of these slides can be kind of used or nice. 1 out of 17 responses. So it's very interactive. I like to say it's like iReady if you're familiar with that program. I love it because you can literally see it doing. And the great thing about it is that, like, say I go, I leave, and I come back, and 12 other people sign up. I will still, and we'll show you. But you will be able, just because when you're done with it doesn't mean you're actually finished with it. And I'll show you and we'll show you different ways to kind of do it. So let me show you the last one of my last slide. So how do these skills are concepts? This is one of my favorite. And actually, this is probably be used for like everything.
Yeah, this could be used across the board.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just great because like I think we've said it maybe 47 times, but like once the students use it, like you can basically, and what's great about Pear Deck is that like anything you could put into a Google slide, you could really feasibly use with Pear Deck.
Yeah, and make it interactive. And let's face it, these are fun. They're visually stimulating. I mean, I teach 8th graders. You would think they're jaded and everything else, but as soon as they could draw their response, or they had a smiley face, or they could drag something, they were all on it. Whereas a Google Doc is pretty dry.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure if I ask, of course, good management, who's done a Pear Deck, who's done a PowerPoint?
Yes, you can, Elizabeth. You there's a place you can go where you can see all your old sessions, and you will see their responses.
You actually just read my mind because I'm going to show you. So as you were talking before about extensions, if you see over here, it says this little powered Pear Deck guy. Click on him. So you go to my account. Which this is also good because this is going to be your Pear Deck website home. Oh, look at that. Jim H's account is premium. You go, so say you can't find that Pear Deck. Sorry, you can't find the session you were just doing. Say you want to use the same, because also a hack that I used to do is like, I'll take this, say I'm doing my K1-2s, I will, change it up a little bit, and then I'll take it, use something similar and use it for my older student. Boom, I got two full lessons over there, a little in differentiation, of course. So I click over here, sessions. If you thought Pear Deck was awesome, you're gonna see. So you see over here, these are all the sessions. I didn't name it. I was just doing a mindfulness, help moves mind, some shape, if you know, if you're aware of it. But if you click over here, this is your kind of like toolbox. If you click over here, this will take you back to the presentation session. It takes a few seconds to load, but you know, you can end the session. So this will take you back to the session like we were just doing, okay? Pear Deck really worked well for me because a lot of times at students I would say, okay, cool, do it, answer the Pear Deck, do the activities, and they would really want to do it again. And I would just say, write down open session in progress. No, I would ignore it. Someone just popped up. Okay. Over here, you have other features, the teacher over here. And you can go back to this. Say I wanted to revisit this. I wanted to see, oh, did anyone come back? How did we do a week later? You could come back here and do it because it just takes a few seconds to load, right? This is the join code. This is that teacher dashboard. If a student says, hey, I did it, you could literally, you can come back here and you can say, oh, okay, you know, you only did half of it, okay? I hope that's clear so far. So, Kathy, let's talk about takeaways. That's like one of my favorite tools.
All right, the takeaways basically, again, for the whole assessment of it all, that is going to be very difficult, given the circumstances. When there are certain pre-made slides for takeaways, and you can gear it just to get an idea of what the students understood, you know, kind of like the exit slip or the final assessment, and they have, oh, were we talking about different takeaways?
No, talking about the takeaways.
Okay.
When you end the session, you see it's closed now. You could always still reopen it, but then you have two new features where you can export it to a spreadsheet, and it will make a spreadsheet for yourself. But I know what you're talking about. So when you click takeaways, it will make you that exit slip you wanted. So what happens if you wanted to, Kathy, if you wanted to send the students a copy of what they did?
Okay, Jim, you know how to do something I don't know how to do. Please take it away.
I thought you knew what takeaways. Oh.
I normally put a slide at the end.
Oh, no. So I'm sorry. No, because you were saying it, and I was like, no, because that's basically what takeaways is. Takeaways are, I should say. This is also a premium feature, and it only works with Google. So, oh, no, I'm sorry. So the one thing about Pear Deck is that sometimes you get all the information, sometimes you don't, unless you export it and you send it back to your students. Now, this is another advanced feature, but say I want to send everyone's answers back to them. So what takeaways is it will literally publish takeaways. It's going to auto-create a Google document, and it's going to send it to every single person. So you probably might have gotten an email. And if I wanted to, this is the Google Drive, it will send everyone a copy of your responses if you use a Google email. But this is, oh, I'm sorry, Kathy. Yeah, no, that's basically that's what you're referring to. Yeah, because that's what it does. For some reason it says hair is combing. That's what a takeaway is.
Yes.
So that's an advanced feature, but it will send the students back. And as a Google document, then if a student is like, oh no, I made a mistake, they could kind of fix it. So now it's in a Google document. Like I said, it's an advanced feature, but a really awesome feature, I think, nonetheless. It does take.
No, I thought you were talking about the takeaway slides or the closing activity slides.
No. So you could put like an exit slip takeaway slide, or this is a whole different feature.
All right. Does it send it individually or to the group? That was a question.
It will send individual. Everyone that's signed up right now, it only works with Google though. Although I did somehow one time get it to go send to my DOE email. I was playing around with it.
Lauren, yeah, it is great for middle school, trust me, because, you know, look, they're overgrown little kids. You get the little
Exactly.
puppet show going and they're engaged.
This will send in, so you have to answer your question, this will send
Little kids with hormones, yeah.
this will send an individual copy to every single person. Like I said, it just takes a few minutes to do it. You're welcome. That's loading. But the cool thing about it is that you could then post it to your Google Classroom, and then, but like this should send it. But like I said, it's taking a few minutes. I don't wanna. It'll load on its own. So, oh, that's great. Thank you. You're welcome. So what I'm going to do is thank you so for being such a great audience. I was going to let people unmute, and you'd like to auditorily ask some questions. Auditorily, wow.
Yeah, definitely.
Let me unmute everyone. I usually like to mute just as a unmute. So we should be able to unmute and wait. So this is going to go. So
Hi, Mandy. Skipping out early, Mandy. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. This is not a class. I'm kidding.
You're welcome.
Thank you. You're welcome.
I wanted to ask about like PE, like, do you do this for kids like when they're like as a recording?
You're welcome, Victoria.
Live.
Say again. Do I do this with them live?
Like, yeah, like, is this something like how when in your day are you doing this like under the blended hybrid model?
I mean, honestly,
Are you doing it like, I guess I have to, like, we have a choice of doing like recorded lessons, so asynchronous or synchronous. And is this something I guess you do it synchronously? Is that like right?
you can do it both.
Okay.
Yeah, no, what we've been doing is, our plan is, I mean, but keep in mind, we're an ICT, so we have 2 teachers, that we're going to try to get everybody together and doing it synchronously. However, what the other plan is, when the other cohorts aren't in front of us, we have one Pear Deck that we're going to do Instructor paste. Then just make a copy and drop audio in, giving our children instructions that they can hear, and try to run it asynchronously. But the same lesson, so everybody's kind of on. I know it's not phys ed, Jim, and that's your specialty, but I just want to say this is how we're doing it with the blended model.
Honestly, that's how I do it too.
Yeah.
What I will usually do is I'll make my videos. Like I said, if it's Google Slides, so whatever, if you make a video and you put it into your Google Slide, actually, I had a lesson before, you make it into your Google Slide, the Pear Deck just makes it an assessment piece. You can do it with the students live. And you could have, so you could be feasibly doing, if you're doing Tabata, if you're doing the Tabata, you could have them do it, and then you could have them answer a question at the same time as you're doing it. It'll also be a good way to kind of make sure that they're not doing it too much. And then when you're done with this, so say if a student did, like for example, people didn't come tonight, or if you wanted to leave it for people to do it, for a student to do it at another, so say you're doing your blended group, you're doing your live group, and then you have another group you wanted to do, you could post it to Google Classroom, and they could also act like an assignment. It'll act like as a Google Doc assignment.
What I did today, I used one with my live group. I then went in and assigned it to the kids who didn't show up for live and gave it to them due tomorrow. And I was like,
Yeah.
You missed it, you have to make it up now. And that
Perfect.
way they can get credit still.
Perfect. Yeah, I did that too. Like especially in the spring, and there would be a lot of kids would be doing the assignments. Sometimes they wouldn't be showing up live because of time scheduling conflicts. But it worked out. I mean, I would literally I got a lot of, even the little ones. There would be a lot of good responses, and the students would do it rather, I should say.
Okay. Are there any questions?
So let me do that. Let me share this. Let me share this. I'm going to share this. There, I'm going to show you the Google Slides. if you go to the Pear Deck website, they just came out with, now I know a lot of us phys ed, they just came out with a lot of different, they're coming out with Pear Deck's been really great. They've been coming out with a lot of new slides recently. They just partnered with PBS, actually with some slides on Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah.
They just paired up. So they're coming up with a lot of new templates, and it's very easy. Yeah. And now actually they're doing it this, actually now is probably a good time to do it because it said they're doing something called Pairtember. How much space is in the free version? Victoria, it's not, if you're thinking like space, it's not like Nearpod. Oh, it needs access. You don't need space. You don't need space because you're adding onto Google Slides. So you could have 1,000 Google Slides and you're just, Pear Deck just X is just like Kathy was saying, is like sprinkled. It's on top of. Yeah, it stores in Google Drive and you don't need space. I know some of us may have heard of something called Nearpod, which is in essence very similar, but that one is its own. You can only have like 3. You have a drive, but Pear Deck is not like that. You're welcome.
I'm hitting the sharing right now.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm not sending any messages though, so.
Oh. I'm gonna send the. There it is. Oh, we also forgot to mention, Pear Deck is great because it will also send you a weekly email on Sundays, like giving you like an update on your stats. Oh, you had this many moments of engagement. You had 27 students, interact. It will send you. It's very cool about that. I'm reading an email. If you sign up for it, they send you different emails. They have also running lots of different webinars. They're a great company because they actually like listen. I feel like they really listen to.
And during those times that we have the PDs, they often run free PDs. They're like a half an hour.
Mhm.
And they go over them.
So in the chat, I just posted this. This was the one I was telling you about before, about the most recent one. The most recent one with the slides I made. If you go down where it says physical education, contributed by a teacher, a PE teacher in New York City. And it's super easy. At least I think. And the website's very good because it also does have a lot of how-to videos. And there's a big support function. If you are on Twitter, Pear Deck is actually also another thing, one other company I really like, the reason why. If you reach out to them, they will reach out to you too. If you say, oh, I need help, they usually will respond to you and say, hey, well, this is something to help out with.
Yeah, there's no guidance is forthcoming from Pear Deck. They will get back to you.
Yeah, they will usually, and it'll be helpful advice. They don't just, like you said, they don't just say, they actually help and they actually want to help you solve it.
It's not like HR. Oh, we'll get to you in 2 hours. No, they help you out. All right. I think we pretty much covered everything. Jim, what do you think?
I think so too. So I'm gonna put my email in the chat.
But you could put mine also. Do you have it? I'll put mine in.
Put yours. I'm also gonna put my Twitter because.
Oh, somebody's fancy. He's got a Twitter.
Well, in the phys ed world, it's all about Twitter. I mean, if you're phys ed, actually, that's not for anybody. Honestly, if you found out about this through the Facebook, go to Twitter. Twitter has so many resources, people sharing things, not just phys ed. There's so much. It's so much. It's a great thing especially for teachers, for professional learning. In phys ed, oh my goodness, there's so many different activities you can find. It's amazing. If you think Facebook's group are great, like it's great.
I want to like, would it be possible to like share, like if I gave you my email, like just one sample Pear Deck lesson, like, I don't know, like a kindergarten mindfulness or something like that? Because I feel like conceptually I'm like still trying to wrap my brain around, or I don't know if that's asking too much, but I'm just sort of trying to conceptualize like how this would look in like a 40-minute, synchronous teaching. And
Not a
I
problem.
don't, really? Thank you.
No,
But you want it for the little ones, right?
I mean, I teach elementary, so yeah, I just sort of want an example, like to live it, like I understand the presentation, but it would be really good to just like see what a whole thing, like from first slide to end slide, to sort of like understand how it unrolls for the kids. I mean, I understand from the teacher perspective, but to see it maybe from a kid
I mean, Jim, you teach the younger ones. I was gonna say, I have a video of a class that I did. I gotta see if the students' faces are on it. If it's not, I mean, it's a 45-minute block and it's middle school, but I don't know if you would find that helpful too.
I have one that because there's this for SHAPE is the Society of Health and Physical Educators. I hope I said that right. And thank you. They have this amazing program called Health Moves Minds. But then Health Moves Minds. I just have, because I'm I'm the chair of one of the Physical Activity Council. So the reason why I can, because I was honestly just making this today. Not honestly, I was doing it. So I was just working on one because I haven't quite seen my students yet. But I just was making one on my own. So let me share with you what it would look like.
Thank you, Victoria, for coming. Thank you. If everybody is leaving, thank you very much for
Victoria,
coming.
fine. Thank you for coming. I'm going to just, you know what I'm going to do? Thank you, everyone, for coming.